before we do that,
they made crazy comments.
We are going to dive into what Jason Lloyd saw at OTAs yesterday, and that is brought to us by FanDuel. The NBA Finals tip-off tonight. Thunder versus Pacers. Get into gear, and you can bet on anything you want, depending on the game, the over, the under, player props, you name it. FanDuel's got it. There's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. You can head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Jason, you were in Berea for OTAs yesterday. It was day 2 of week 2, overall OTA number 5 for Cleveland. And we're going to talk more quarterbacks with Daniel Oyefusi in a little bit, but you were there, so I want to hear from you. How did the quarterback situation look through your eyes?
It looked a lot like last week. Honestly, the Flacco is the best out there. Among the rookies, Shedeur didn't get any reps with the starters again on 11 on 11, just like last week. Most of Shedeur's work was on the rookie field. Dillon Gabriel had a lot of checkdowns is one thing that was noticeable yesterday. It wasn't really a lot of downfield. It felt like a lot of checkdowns. And Kenny Pickett was so-so. He missed a couple throws, missed high on a couple. Wasn't really having a great day. Had a touchdown throw at the end that was a great throw. And it just, everything that we do, we overanalyze, we blow it out of proportion. It's an OTA guys, it's really not that big of a deal. But if you want to just look at arm strength and quarterbacks who had command of the huddle and look like Joe Flacco is clearly the best quarterback on this roster at this point. I don't think there's any question about that, even at 40 years old. I'd put Kenny behind him in terms of the veterans and in terms of the rookies. Shedeur throws a great ball. I know Bull and Mike a clip. I'm like, this is what everyone's freaking out about. It's a 7-on-7. Like there's nothing to be charting here in terms of stats. Nothing. Yeah. But obviously he's got great touch. Obviously, I want to see him against the starters, and hopefully maybe the mandatory minicamp next week. Maybe, although I'm not optimistic at this point. If he didn't get him in the OTAs, I'm not sure that he's going to get him in the mandatory minicamp. But I would like to see him live in 11-on-11 drills with the rest of the starters, and we just haven't seen that yet.
Why did anybody ask Kevin Stefanski why he hasn't had
Kevin didn't talk yesterday.
Oh, all right. The coordinators did. Did Tommy Rees say it?
No, I probably should have asked him. It just feels more like a Kevin question than an OC question. But listen. I said last week he is very clearly 4th on the depth chart. Very clearly. Doesn't mean it's June. He's got plenty of time to move up. I absolutely believe he will have opportunities. They just haven't been there through the 2 OTAs that we've seen.
Tyvus, what do you make of the fact that he hasn't had an opportunity with the ones yet?
Well, I think Kevin spoke on it and said that he has gotten reps with the ones, just the media hasn't seen those reps. So I was hoping, we could put that to bed yesterday by allowing him to get those reps. But you know what? The crazy thing is when he was coming out and everybody was doing his draft profile, a lot of the people questioned, his arm strength. And you see some of these passes that he's throwing, the arm strength looks fine to me. He's putting the ball in the spot where only his guys can get it, so his ball placement is really good. That's kind of how C.J. Stroud was. It's not about whether or not I got the strongest arm. It's about putting the ball to where my guys can get it. And, you see plays like that, obviously he need to get that second foot in. This ain't college. Just take 2 in this league. But anyways, to see the placement that he has and the command that he has, to me, he looks like he can be a really good quarterback in this league. It's unfortunate that they are really holding out for the media to be able to see that because I guess, I don't know, maybe they want to control the narrative a little bit. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Jason's right. It's OTAs. Like I said, if he's doing this stuff right here and it looks like this against Carolina in joint practice or Philadelphia in joint practice, that I'm telling you right now, I'm going with my very own picket sign, and I will march outside of that Browns facility and say, we want Shedeur. We want Shedeur. Anytime I do Browns radio pregame or postgame, I'm going to say, you know what I really like to see today? I like to see Shedeur Sanders today. So if he continues to keep progressing like that, I will be his biggest cheerleaders. Throw me some pom-poms.
It's hard. It's just hard to know where he's really at when you don't.
Because it's against the threes or the twos.
It's 7-on-7 against rookies and guys who aren't going to be here. So it's hard.
The guys he's playing against and the guys he's playing with are probably not going to be here.
Yeah. So it's hard. It's just hard to come in here after 2 practices. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about 2 practices that are about an hour and a half each-ish. And coming in here and trying to draw these huge assessments off it when he's not even – and by the way, all the starters aren't even there. So when you are going against starters, it's still not all the starters. It's
was
4.
Was Deontay Johnson?
No,
I didn't see
no
him.
David.
I didn't see
no
him.
David Njoku.
So this is the question that I have about these OTAs is you've seen 2 practices.
Yeah.
In those 2 practices, you and Zach Jackson said that Dillon Gabriel has not looked that great.
Yeah,
Zach said that.
So if that's
Shedeur has looked better to me than Gil. But again, Dillon did get 11-on-11 reps.
That's what I'm
with
saying.
The starters.
So,
and Shedeur hasn't. So it's hard.
So,
it's not an apples to apples comparison.
So
right
I'm shocked because if y'all can see that and clearly see that Shedeur is throwing the ball better and he's got a better command, why has he not earned the reps? Now, granted, we have to say that we don't see what's happening on the days that media is not there. We don't see meetings. We don't see them in the building. We only seen 2 OTA practice. I think they're on 6? Something like that.
5.
Yesterday was 5.
Yeah, so they'll be on 6 today. So we haven't seen 3 other practices. So we don't know what's going into that. But from the media standpoint, from all the reports that you hear, to me, it sounds like Shedeur looks better than Dillon Gabriel. So why is it that Dillon Gabriel can take reps with the ones, but Shedeur can't?
The NFL. Why are there only a couple of days why does the media not have access on every day?
Well, we do. I didn't realize this. Zach told me yesterday. It is all 3 next week are open. All 3 minicamp days are open, that's more helpful than OTAs.
Sure. Yeah,
so it's mandatory.
Mandatory.
Everybody
got to be there.
Everybody's there. So I'd rather that. That's more important than what's going on now.
Sure.
It's just not. It's just hard to draw these huge conclusions over what you're seeing now. So that'll be good when we get in there next week for all 3 days of minicamp. And why are they not open? I mean,
it hurts the fans. The fans don't have the access that they get from the media.
Yeah, but it also turns into nonsense like this.
Well, but maybe there'd be less nonsense if we actually had seen Shedeur Sanders with the first team.
No, it'll be more.
Okay, but there's going to be not. That's what the NFL wants, right? They want all the nonsense because they want all the coverage.
All of these sports leagues, they walk a fine line. This is a bigger conversation. All of the leagues are trying to drive the media out. All of them. Trying to drive the media out of the locker rooms, trying to cut down on times when they're available. There's a huge war going on right now in baseball because of it. Basketball has changed its policies.
Yeah.
NFL actually was, I believe, the first to let the media back in post-COVID, I think.
Right.
Or was it? I don't remember now. But I remember thinking after COVID, that's it. The media will never be back in the locker room again. And to the league's credit, so the people in New York at the league office fight to keep the media involved. The teams are trying to push reporters out.
Right.
So this is just a constant ongoing negotiation. So it's a much broader conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
Than just why isn't media allowed at OTAs.
Have you changed your opinion? Obviously, you were with a few other people that you thought Kenny Pickett would likely be the starter week 1. With Joe Flacco, looking like he hasn't lost a step in terms of his arm.
I think I've tried to be pretty clear on this.
Yeah.
I keep saying it's May and June, guys, but right now, if you ask me, I think it's Kenny. But if Joe outplays him, then they're going to have a decision to make. And I think Joe is outplaying him to this point. I mean, again, 2 OTAs.
Yeah.
So then they are going to have a decision to make. Do you want to? I just don't know what the benefit is of playing a 41-year-old quarterback. I don't know what you're getting out of that long term.
You're getting nothing out of it long term. I would argue you're probably getting nothing out of playing Kenny Pickett long term either. But at least it can be argued that
if you're playing Joe Flacco, if you're starting the season with him, I heard you guys yesterday saying if by some act of God they get off to a 4-2 start,
right?
And you and Dustin both said you roll with Joe.
Yeah.
Fine. If you roll with Joe, I guarantee you they're taking a quarterback at the top of the first round next year. Guarantee it.
Well, I would agree in theory, but if they have a shockingly good season, they might not be in position to draft a quarterback.
Well, that's what the extra first round pick is for.
Right. They have to be in a position to be able to trade up if there is one. So we'll see. But
the point, I guess, for me when we talk big picture on all this stuff is in the court of law, it's reasonable doubt. You have to convict me on a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, the Browns at this point are planning on taking a quarterback in the first round. I don't think they're looking at any of these guys as the long-term solution. It's on one of these guys to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they are the choice going forward. And right now, Shedeur hasn't been given that opportunity, but it's only June 5th. I absolutely believe he will have chances.
Yeah.
If it's not next week at minicamp, it will 100% be during training camp. It'll be during the joint practices. I agree with you. I'm really looking forward to this. I might actually go. I think it's Philly and Carolina. I'd really like to see. I'm curious to see
Man, I
that.
want to go too, but I can't take off. I would love to see.
You have vacation.
Especially Philly.
You have vacation days.
Yeah,
You can take off.
but I'm down to 8. I got 8 left for the year.
You're abusing them.
But actually, I had this talk with the boss down there. He said that as we get closer to it, he's actually going to make me use them, because he said that if you don't use them and you work the entire time, then that's 8 days that you basically work for free.
That's right. And you're not allowing people that try to come up in the business to get an opportunity.
Yeah, they don't. I don't want.
Can't worry
that's
about
called that's called being Wally pipped.
No.
I'm not trying
No,
to
it's
get.
not.
I think we
Wally
should have a
pipped.
Tyvus and Jason road trip to Philly.
Yeah, there you go.
The heck no, I'm not getting in the car with you.
By the way, last thing on this before we move to the Jim Schwartz comments on Myles Garrett. No coach is going to turn down a better chance to win, no matter what the organization game. No matter whether the organization wants to tank or whatever, it's irrelevant. The coach wants to win.
Of course,
Yes.
And so he's going to start the guy that gives him the best chance to win. That's very likely at the beginning of the year, Joe Flacco. That's why I thought he was going to start all along. And if Joe's playing well, we talked yesterday about when they benched Brian Hoyer for Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Now, that was
That came from above.
Right, that came from above. The coach, Mike Pettin, got screwed in that situation.
Did he get fired after that?
Honestly, Mike Pettin is the only coach that the Browns have had since I've been here, and probably period, that you could argue was unfairly fired.
That man had
Romeo Cornell, because he was black.
Well, that was before I was here, so I can't speak educationally.
What, he went 10-6? Don't do that. He didn't get fired after that season.
No,
I think he got fired the season after that one.
But the bottom line is, if they're having a good season, none of us is going to predict that. But if they're having a good season,
He did.
no, he picked them to go 8-9.
That's a good season.
Well, it's not for real teams. It's
You
not.
know what? I'm
You're
glad.
not benching Joe Flacco if you
All
have a
I'm
good
going to
season.
tell you is when it happened, a public apology.
All right.
Okay.
Congratulations. The
Public
Browns went
apology.
8-9. That's our bar. 8-9 is a good season.
8-9 or better. I want y'all to publicly apologize for
We will do
criticizing
that,
me.
Tyvus.